bunch of gamers, one channel, and tons of games. This must be Games and Me. This is the Review Club, episode 24 for May 15th, 2009. Wait 3 days, then download. Hey guys, welcome to the Review Club. This is episode, 24 now? Slowly catching up to Twee Game, so let's get right on it. So let's start with Ted. So Ted, what have you been playing, sir?
I actually rented House of the Dead Overkill from Gamefly, and I've got to say, one of the best light gun games I've played in years.
Really?
The dialogue still makes me laugh days after playing it. The presentation is unique and great. And the gunplay, the action is extremely satisfying so far. I'm only halfway through the first mode. I haven't made it to Director's Cut mode. But I am considering buying it,
Wow.
rent to own from Gamefly. I've got $10 in coupons from them, and that helps it. But I'm blown away. I heard moderate things about this game, but run, don't walk.
Yeah, sounds pretty fun. Sounds even more fun than the Umbrella Chronicles, honestly.
The problem with Umbrella Chronicles is you can't shoot anything in the head. You have to get right at the tip of the forehead. This game, there's blood everywhere. I can blow an arm off, blow a leg off. There's actually an achievement for blowing 75 legs off in a level. There's an achievement for blowing 50 heads off. And this game drops so many F-bombs, it's comical.
The way it should be. How about you, Mark?
Well, I've taken my first step into iPhone gaming. I purchased 3 iPhone games. Final Fantasy Crystal Defenders, Galaxy on Fire, and Oregon Trail. And you'll be hearing my review on one of those today.
Cool. And CK, so what have you been playing?
Well, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which we'll be talking about in a bit. And as of 5 minutes ago, the director's cut of Broken Sword on the DS. Thanks, Alex.
Very dangerous to go with a bunch of people who play games and are actually wanting to buy a whole bunch of games from Best Buy.
Preaching the truth there.
And Vanessa, what have you been playing?
I've been trying to beat Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I'm almost done. But moreover, I've mostly been playing the new Fallout 3 expansion, Broken Steel. I think I'm almost done with that, and I'll be giving first impressions of that.
Cool. And how about you, Chris?
I just finished Wolverine, and I picked up Castlevania Symphony of the Night 60, and I'm finishing up, or trying to finish, or still playing Persona 4.
So, what happened to Chrono Trigger?
What did happen?
I still play it, but I've got so much other stuff to play.
Oh my God, you have to finish it!
I
You have
know.
to finish it!
I got to a point where, I don't know, it was just, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Okay, you
so
went to
I had
12,000 BC? See, that's an in-joke that everyone gets but Chris. I feel bad.
You know what? I'm at 2300.
Oh, you're in the
AD.
future.
Yeah,
First or
and
second time in the future.
The second time,
Mm.
and I don't know where to go, what to do, or
Oh.
Okay.
I'll help you
Stop.
out after this is done.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely, because I don't want to get stuck there too. But speaking of Chrono Trigger, I have been playing Chrono Trigger quite a bit, and for some weird reason, I went back to play Brain Age to play the Sudoku puzzles on there for some weird reason. And if I'm not on my DS, I go on my iPhone and play the Sudoku game on the iPhone. So weird week for me overall. So.
I was doing Sudoku in the club on Friday. That was weird. Waiting for people to get here. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bust out Sudoku. Well, there's, naked people running around. Yeah, I'm doing Sudoku.
Nothing like an environment to play Sudoku in, yeah. So.
Also, I had several drinks in me, so it was a challenge to see how far I could go.
Sounds like fun. So, all right. So, CK, we'll start with you. So, how's your experience with Phoenix Wright?
Okay, so we have to clarify first. These are first impressions. I will be doing the review later, but
and actually also to kind of clarify to people, I'm gonna have Ted kind of take a front seat on this because obviously you played the entire series. So
and it is your copy I'm borrowing.
Know it front to back. Own the manga. Own several fan art. Have cosplayed. Walking encyclopedia of the damn thing.
There you go. So,
Well, so far, I think my impression is that it's a nice evolvement of the adventure game. I've complained before that one of the problems with the adventure game is that sometimes it feels a little too stuck in its ways, and I appreciate games that try to toy around with the conventions of the genre, like with Indigo Prophecy. Phoenix Wright does it in a really weird way. Like, I did not expect I would like this game at first. Because, like, lawyers, that's so boring. I mean, I hate Law & Order. I find CSI boring. But there's just something about this game. And it's the characters and the interface. It's like, wow, I want to keep playing. Some of the things I like... from where I've gotten so far, I like how they've streamlined the pixel hunting part of adventure games a little bit. Like, I got to one part at the beginning of Chapter 2 where, the traditional part of adventure games where you have, like, a cursor and you have to examine items in a room. I examined one body, and then just from that, I got 2 pieces of evidence. I didn't have to individually look at those 2 items in order to see it. It's like the game knows that that's the tedious part of games, and that the real meat and potatoes of the game is you getting involved with the story and the puzzles, not whether you can see something that's 3 pixels wide. So I like that. I also think that I like that it's like a postmodern Mega Man. This is going to sound weird, but the structure of the trial, it's like obviously the way that it works is that the game stresses that this is about finding contradictions with the testimony and presenting evidence. And as you start to do that, you start playing this great Mega Man type of music. Like, they bust out these total jams that get you all intense and in the mood.
That reminds me, I gotta show you guys the orchestral soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in that. It's a great soundtrack.
Oh man, wait! When you've got someone, it's like da da. When you've got someone on the ropes and it's getting really tense.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's great because it's like you're in a Dr. Wily stage, or whatever, except you're fighting with words instead of with your
I'm just warning
Yeah.
you right now. The later games changed the soundtrack almost completely, except for some tracks that you'll remember, like when you're hanging out with the Fays.
Oh really? Well,
There's the Faye Sister soundtrack that stays around, but the second and third games completely changed the soundtrack. Fourth game too, although I won't spoil it because no one here knows. There's a callback to one of the earlier games later on musically, which totally flipped me out.
Well, you know what I really like about this game so far is that, how you started playing and you like the characters, the character interactions, and how everything is played in the courtroom or whatever, and then, like, later on in the game, they totally change, like, not totally change, but they vary how you play the game, so things change later on.
but at the same time, I mean, I appreciate that too because, like, at the beginning of Chapter 2, you suddenly get into the pixel hunting thing, which you don't have in the trial. But they also retained the same format from the trial. Like, when you're supposed to, like, show an item to a character, you still use the present button that you would do in the trial to present evidence. It's almost like Phoenix can't escape his lawyer life. It stays with him.
Yeah.
Like I said before, this is a very postmodern, meta, self-aware
Yeah.
game, it feels like.
True.
I'm
Yeah.
laughing because, like, they don't know what's in store for them. Like, basically, the thing about Phoenix Wright, it's about setting up expectations and then breaking them. Like, they don't know this, but everything they've said gets turned on its head
Yeah.
later on in the series. Like, everything you said, like, oh, you don't have to look at evidence. Wait till case 5. Wait till case 5. That's the game that uses the DS exclusive features because that was the case that was made just for the DS. Yeah, wait till that one.
And you want to talk about the whole thing where all the cases are connected?
Yeah, that seems interesting because, like,
Go ahead. I'll finish later.
yeah, I may sound like an idiot, of course.
No,
but,
you're discovering it. I wish I could have the same discovery you're having now because it's so much fun, and you can only do it once.
Well, what I appreciate about this game is that at the outset, the game starts with you at your first trial. And my expectation when I started this is that it was going to be like playing Encyclopedia Brown. Like, I know there were 5 cases, but I thought they were all going to be totally unrelated, and like it would like jump to a later part of Phoenix's life. But what actually happens is that once you solve that first case, like, there's this piece of evidence that keeps reoccurring in that case, and then suddenly, like, the character that you're with, Mia, wants to, you give her the clock or whatever, and then that ends up becoming the focal point of the next case.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this. It's not totally unrelated cases. It's like cases that together add up to a larger story arc, and it's like I feel like the game is just opening up.
And that kind of relates to the thing where Ted was saying that they turn expectations on their heads, because I remember when you first expressed interest in seeing Phoenix Wright, I had just finished case 3 and was moving on to case 4, and I was like, gonna show it to you. I was like, oh, maybe I could show CK a few minutes of it.
Spoilers!
But I better start it to make sure there's no spoilers. Within 5 seconds, I was like, no way! Never mind, you can't see this, CK.
I was just thinking, every single game of the Phoenix Wright